Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our leadership training videos. As you know by now, I hope these leadership training videos are there to support you in your journey in leadership, or maybe help to create opportunities for you to become a future leader. They're as much for entrepreneurs as they are for just people in life, and maybe because you are on a leadership journey, how to improve by creating more effective leadership skills, understanding what the leadership traits are that are needed to grow your leadership ability, or even just out of curiosity. Today, I want to take you down, I think, a conversation which is an interesting one, and one which I've heard a lot about, and I'm sure you have as well. And the question is, are leaders supposed to lead from the front or from behind? There are those who, of course, advocate a leader should be behind the scenes, as it were, pushing the team forward. And there are those who say, well, if you're the leader, then you should be in the front anyway, leading us up the mountain or through the valley or through the forest or whatever it happens to be, whatever image you want to create in your mind. So should leaders be in the front or should they be behind? My name is Chris Igwe. I have over 35 years experience leading, developing, managing and growing teams across the 5 major markets where I've lived and worked, and of course through Middle East, Europe, Middle East and Africa. And in that journey, it's really been a fascinating one of bringing together teams that are sometimes eclectic, so they don't really gel, and those that are functioning well, but they need a bit more of a boost. So different ends of the spectrum, either creating something or indeed building something that's already there. Now, I invite you, if you have any questions or comments or thoughts, to like, share, comment, and of course subscribe to this channel so you know when other videos are becoming available. So let's jump into it. Let's get on with the conversation around leading from the front or from behind. Well, it really depends on several different things, doesn't it? One of them could be whether it's front or back. It's about timing. What is the right timing for the choice that you make in terms of the leadership approach you're going to take? What are the results that you need to obtain or you have as the objective that you want to achieve? And third one, what kind of an impact do you want to create? Whether it's an impact in the team, the company, the department, the region, or even with regards to the external party you're dealing with, maybe a client, let's take that in this case. So these are kind of the 3 filters, I would say, which make the choice of whether you're at the front or you're behind when you make the decision. So if you're at the front, here's the scenario. And I put to you, these are the main reasons why you would be at the front as a leader. So firstly, it could be a really big project, one that requires your knowledge, your insight, your ability, and maybe it's too big for the rest of the team or the company or the department at that particular stage of their careers. Maybe it's a very strategically important, not only to you, but in terms of whatever the results are that you want to achieve, whatever impact you want to make or create. It could also be a high risk. If it's a high risk one, then remember the buck stops at you. You're the leader. So if you push everybody and send them off to deal with this project or whatever it happens to be, and they fail or they're unsuccessful, just imagine what that does. Imagine what that creates, both for you and for the individuals involved. Perhaps it simply requires that the leader is there, the boss is there, it is visible. For example, in an external situation, there's an important strategic meeting, a big project, maybe a new market, a new division, a new client. They want to know that the main man or the main woman is there. So there's just simply a requirement for you to be there in terms of your presence. It could well be simply that your knowledge and insight, given your vast years of experience perhaps, or your specialist knowledge, so it doesn't have to be 35 years experience like me, it could be that you have 5 years experience or 2 years experience in a very critical key part of the business or that strategy that needs to be put together. So what knowledge or insight are you able to bring, or is expected that you bring to that meeting or that situation? Or finally, it could be that they just need a negotiator. You need to be the one who negotiates that deal, that project, or whatever it happens to be. And of course, this could be internal in the same way that it could be external. So it may be that you're pitching for new business, or you're pitching to a new team or department or a new region of your market, as we're all global, so it could be anything. But being a negotiator, you're the one, once again, you know the risks, it's a high risk, and therefore if your negotiation doesn't work or isn't successful, what is the impact? So you may need to be there as the ultimate negotiator. So these are all in relation to taking a position when you're in the front. So let's look at it when you're in the back. You make a conscious choice as the leader that you are not going to run point on this. You're not going to be in front, you're going to be behind. And here are some of the reasons that you would put through that testing process. Maybe you really want to see team or individual growth. So you want them to grow, or him or her to grow. So you stay in the background. You may play just the quarterback role. For those who know American football, the quarterback is the guy who pivots, basically. So when the ball comes out, he is the one who directs it, throws it in a certain direction based on a strategy that's already been delivered. But that quarterback could also be, you could call yourself a cheerleader if you prefer. So you're there rah-rah-rahing the team or the individual to go forward because you want to see them successful. You want them to win the game. So you could be quarterback or you could be cheerleader, whatever you prefer as an image. It could be contrary to the previous one. It's a minimal risk or lesser risk situation. So you know that if it goes wrong, it's not the end of the world. If it goes wrong, you can pick it up, get up and move forward. So minimal risk, but you also maybe want to reward others. So those who've worked hard, those who've committed, maybe they've worked on this particular project, and let's say they're going to pitch it to another part of the business or to a client or whatever. And you're saying, look, you worked on this project to put it together, to come up with the ideas, the thoughts. It's your reward that you go and you deliver it. Now, remember that even if you're in the back, and let's say in this example of pitching to an external group, you can still be present as leader. I'm not saying you're physically remote or not involved, but you may just sit there. So there's a meeting. Instead of taking the mic and talking to the prospect, you allow them to do it. So you put the spotlight on the team or the individual. So it's not that you're leaving them to work to their own devices, but you're basically saying, guys, I trust you. I believe in you. This is your moment to shine. I don't want any of the glory here. I'm just here to make sure that you come successfully away from that particular interaction with whoever. So those are the aspects when you're looking at how you position yourself, whether front or back. So what are the outcomes that you expect? What are the outcomes that you want? And whether it's front or back, because as you can see from this, it depends on the circumstances. It should be both. And I've used both time and time again in my career. It's the fact that you want, in my opinion, growth. You want growth in the team. You want individuals to grow. You want a team or teams to grow, or department. And through that growth, you improve the performance, not only of the individuals, and also maybe of the revenue and the profitability that you get, or the productivity, but you also get greater engagement because they're all, okay, he's not taking the limelight or she's not taking the limelight all the time. I like this, I feel better. I feel encouraged to be a part of this team, which then creates two fundamental things in leadership, which is to be respected and to be trusted. You want to be respected and you want to be trusted. Those are absolutely fundamental elements of being a successful leader. And so as you allow them to grow, you grow, because you grow through the pains. If they do fail or they stumble, Whether you're leading from the front or from the back, something doesn't work out, you grow together, because you then go back and say, what didn't work? What didn't I do well? What were we not prepared for? And how do we change that for the future? And then ultimately, of course, through growth and all these aspects that you see here, it generates happiness. Happiness in the team, happiness in yourself, to know that you're doing the right thing, that you're providing the team with the right tools that they need. And that happiness then comes from when you oscillate, so you go backwards from front to back. So sometimes you're leading from the front, sometimes you're leading from the back, but they always know that you're there. So I hope that's given you an idea to consider, an idea as to how you look at your own leaders as well, of course, but your own leadership style, because that's the important thing. At what point are you going to say, I'm going to step out into the front, or I'm going to step towards the back and allow somebody else to do it? So that's the key. Front and back are both strategically important aspects for improving your leadership skills. Know when to use it and when not to use it. Because bear in mind, the last thing you want is if you're in the back and you basically send them out into a rather complex situation, it may just all blow up in smoke. Blow up in smoke because they're not successful. Blow up in smoke because they look at you and said, you should have done better, you should have prepared us better, or you should have been there maybe. So be careful, watch which one you use, but use both in your leadership skills, because it's really, really important. You will grow and they will grow, and that's the key to leadership. So I hope this video has spoken to you. If so, please feel free to share, like, comment, and of course subscribe to this channel so you know when other videos are becoming available. And I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Thank you.